What's going on, guys? White Fox 1225 here with another video, and today we're going to do another Fallout 4 guide. We're going to be talking about all the factions in the game. So I remember when I first started playing Bethesda games, the thing that confused me the most was like which factions I could join, which ones I could be part of while being part of other ones, what all the factions stood for. It just really confused me, so I figured I'd make a video for all the beginners of Fallout about what the factions stand for and all that stuff. So it is going to be spoiler free. I'm not going to ruin the ending of anything for you guys. But if you want to go into the game knowing nothing about the factions or their story, obviously this isn't the video for you. So let's just get right into it, guys, and talk about the Minutemen. So the Minutemen are the first faction you guys will meet. You'll meet them probably about half an hour into the game, and they're kind of the traditional good guys of the game. Their goal is really just to do good, basically. Their goal is just to help the people of the Commonwealth. So when you meet them, they kind of fell apart. They used to be like a big force, and now they're really not. So if you choose them, really what you're going to be doing is rebuilding them over time. Now, a lot of the quests can be a little boring in my opinion. They're really like variant and kind of just go kill the goals here, go protect these people. But once you get farther enough into the storyline, they will have some, faction specific quests that you can do, which can be pretty exciting. So the Minutemen are definitely good if you're trying to play like a traditional good guy character, and anyone can join the Minutemen to start with. They don't really conflict with any other factions, but I'll talk about that a little later in the video. So next up we have the Institut, and the Institut you'll probably hear about as soon as you start playing Fallout 4. They're kind of infamous. They're kind of the like bad guys of the games, but they're a lot more intricate than that, and it's not as simple as they're bad and these people are good. There's a lot of gray areas in the game which I really like, but the Institut are kind of like seen as the bad guys throughout the Commonwealth. Now, part of the story is that they've created synths, and their new like third generation synth can blend in and it looks human, and it can even have feelings, and that's important when we talk about some of the factions later on in the video. But really their goal is just to create technology, in their opinion, that's going to further humanity and kind of serve humanity. So they're all scientists. They were created scientists that went into hiding before the nuclear fallout happened. So they're all really academic and rational. Personally, it really annoys me hanging out in the Institute's headquarters. But they, like I said, believe that technology can further man, and they really think that synths should be, used, and they should serve them. And they kind of have a harsh way of looking at the world, kind of more of the, darker side of the faction. So if you're looking to play like maybe a more evil or darker character, this probably is the faction for you. But definitely interesting, and it's kind of fun to play around with them. Moving on, let's talk about the Brotherhood of Steel. So if you played Fallout before, you're probably familiar with the Brotherhood of Steel. They are a returning faction in the game, so they're a lot more military-like, definitely a lot more formal than the Minutemen or something like that. They have like a structure and stuff, but they're definitely, like I said, a lot more military side compared to the other factions. But they're really the enemies of the Institut. Now their goal is really to wipe out the Institut and also the synths that serve the Institut. They don't see synths as people. They think they should be destroyed, and really they kind of hate all of the technology the Institut is using, because in their opinion and their viewpoint, they think that technology kind of is what brought an end to humanity and caused the nuclear fallout. So like I said, they're really against the Institut and against the synths. So that's kind of what you'll be doing if you join the Brotherhood of Steel. Now moving on to our final faction that we're going to be talking about today, we have the Railroad. So this is the faction that I decided to join because I really thought they were the most interesting, but they're kind of secret. You're going to have to find them throughout the game. If you like the Thieves Guild and Skyrim Oblivion, I definitely think this is the faction for you. But their goal is to protect the synths that have, human feelings and look like humans, and in their opinion are equal to humans. So a lot of what you're going to be doing is like smuggling synths to safe houses and really just protecting them from the Institute and from some other factions that would want to do them harm. So kind of Civil War inspired with the name the Railroad, and definitely a really interesting faction. Again, kind of good, but all of the factions can be seen as good or bad, which is kind of nice, and that's what gives them the moral gray area that really makes them more interesting than just a traditional good guy or bad guy. So moving on to how you'll have to choose your factions. So they let you kind of flirt with all the factions. You can do a couple quests for all of them, but eventually you will have to choose one, and it's kind of the main story eventually merges into the faction stories. So like I said, you will have to pick one faction that you're going to do. But if you just start the game, don't worry about it. You can do some missions for all of the factions and still be able to join them and all that good stuff. So definitely don't be afraid to try out a faction if you're curious about it, but at one point you will have to choose one of the four. So that pretty much does it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. As always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll have another Fallout video next week, and I hope to see you then. Bye, guys.